Welcome, and thank you for joining me for this short demonstration of how easy it is to use the iTero Element intraoral scanner. In this video, I will cover the simple steps for creating your full mouth detailed digital impression. Let's get started. I will begin by sitting behind the patient at the 12 o'clock position with the display on my dominant side. This will allow me to have easy access to the display touchscreen and the wand without twisting or turning. After completing the case RX, I'm ready to begin scanning. I'll tap on the scanning sleeve icon at the top of the screen to activate the wand. Waiting 10 seconds after the light turns on in the wand allows the tip to defog before I place it in the patient's mouth. Next, I'll place the tip of the wand on the occlusal surface of the terminal molar and create a fulcrum for stabilization with my free hand. For this demonstration of the iTero Element, I'll begin scanning on the lower left arch. However, depending on your preference, you can begin scanning in either the lower or upper arch and on the right or left side. Once I confirm my starting location in the viewfinder, I will press and release either of the side buttons to begin scanning. It's important that I find my starting location on the tooth before I press the side button. The blue scrolling bar in the segment selection box lets me know that scanning is active. The iTero Element scanner allows me to scan in a continuous motion. I'll begin by scanning the entire occlusal of the arch. Being sure to keep the wand flat on the occlusal, I'll steadily bring the wand towards the anterior. When I reach the bicuspid, I'll simply continue by swiping across the anterior, tilting slightly to the lingual at the contralateral bicuspid, and then proceed by moving the tip straight back to the opposing terminal molar. Once I've reached the most terminal tooth, I'll rotate to the lingual. I'll bring the cable end of the wand out to the side and maintain a 45-degree angle of the wand tip to the lingual surface. Using a twisting motion, I'll continue around the entire arch, being sure to capture the interproximal anatomy of the entire lingual surface. Next, I'll press and release either side button to pause scanning. This will activate the faster Invisalign scanning feature that highlights areas of missing anatomy in red. I can go back and capture these areas at any time while I am scanning the arch. After I've completed the lingual, I'll rotate to the buccal and use a rocking motion as I move towards the anterior to capture the interproximal anatomy of the buccal. Bringing the cable end towards the arch will capture the mesial interproximal anatomy, and taking the cable end away from the arch will capture the distal interproximal anatomy. When I cross the midline, I'll move the wand tip towards the opposite terminal tooth and use the same rocking motion to capture the buccal surface from the posterior to the anterior. Moving from posterior to anterior when I'm scanning the buccal surface reduces the interference from the cheek and provides a smoother scanning experience. Now that I've completed scanning the buccal, I'll move on to capturing the incisal anatomy of the anterior. I'll place the wand so that the cuspid and lateral are centered in the viewfinder. Then I'll roll from the lingual surface over the incisal edge to the buccal surface. I'll repeat this on the contralateral side. These scans help to ensure that the lingual and buccal segments are joined with the accurate incisal surfaces. This step is critical for properly fitting Invisalign aligners. Before moving to the upper arch, I'll check to see that there are no areas of red in the lower arch scan. I can rotate the model using the multi-touch features of the display or use the gyro function of the wand controls. To activate the wand controls, I will simultaneously press and release both of the side buttons on the wand. Next, I'll hold my finger down on the wand touchpad and move the wand to rotate the model. This feature allows me to evaluate my digital model without touching the display screen. If I find any areas of red, I can fill them in now or later. It's necessary to fill in all areas of red on the tooth surfaces, regardless of size. Areas that are not red do not need to be filled in, no matter how large. To move to the next arch, I have three options. I can tap on the specified arch on the touchscreen, press the arrow key on the segment indicator box, or use the touchpad on the wand. To activate the touchpad, I'll press on both wand side buttons simultaneously Release, and then use a steady, firm swiping motion from left to right to move to the next segment. To go back to a previous segment, I'll swipe from right to left. Next, I will use the same scanning sequence and technique to complete the upper arch. Capturing the palate is easy with the iTero Element scanner. I'll start behind the centrals and move posteriorly towards the soft palate. Next, I'll move to either side of the palate and begin filling in towards the dentition. The final segment is the bite. It's recommended to confirm the correct bite prior to scanning. When I'm ready to begin scanning, I'll have the patient open, use the wand to retract their cheek, and have the patient close in centric occlusion. Here I'll bring the wand tip gently against the teeth, observing the occlusion in the viewfinder. Moving forward in a small wave-like motion, I'll capture 3 to 4 teeth and then move to the contralateral side using the same technique. Once I've completed the 2 arches and bite, I'll tap on the view icon at the top of the touchscreen display to view my digital model in high resolution. The processing may take a few minutes while the computer compiles all the detailed data acquired during the scan. This is a good time to evaluate my model to ensure I have included all the necessary anatomy. At this point, I can add additional scans by going back to scanning mode or wait for the high-resolution model to be ready. If this is an Invisalign scan, I'll confirm that I have filled in any areas of red, captured 2 millimeters of gingival tissue, the distal anatomy of the terminal molars, solid incisal edges, the interproximal surfaces, and the correct bite. If there are any adjustments I need to make, I simply tap on the scanner sleeve icon to activate the scanner, choose the appropriate segment, and add scans. When I'm satisfied with the digital model, I'll tap on the envelope icon to send the case. Invisalign cases are available on the Invisalign Doctor site within 15 minutes for ClinCheck and submission. If this is an Invisalign case, I'll be prompted to open the case in the Invisalign Outcome Simulator. This easy-to-use tool allows me to adjust and present a simulated outcome of Invisalign treatment to my patient. Thank you for your time and attention. We appreciate your business and look forward to continuing to partner with you to help you achieve your clinical goals.